The U.S. has warned Iran that all options are on the table to stop its deadly crackdown on anti-government protesters. Representatives from both countries faced off at the UN Security Council last night. And we're learning that key U.S. allies in the Middle East have been engaged in intense diplomatic efforts to prevent a conflict between the U.S. and Iran. For more on this angle of the news, I'm joined by CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio, joining us from our London bureau. Ramy, good morning. Help explain these diplomatic efforts by Gulf states to prevent any potential U.S. military intervention.
Sure, Errol. Well, all options on the table is definitely not something that governments across the Middle East want to hear right now, because a Gulf official did tell CBS News that they had been working in a 72-hour window of diplomacy, described as intensive diplomacy, to try to stop the Middle East from cratering. That push came from Saudi Arabia, from Qatar, from Egypt, and from Oman to both Tehran and Washington. And their message to the U.S., they said, listen, you've got security and economic reasons to not bomb Iran. There's also the likely impact to oil production and supply. And then their message to Iran: if you strike back on U.S. bases in our countries, specifically Qatar and Saudi Arabia, that there would be serious consequences. But if Iran thinks it is game over for them, they could potentially go all out with conventional strikes and any nuclear capability that they might be able to pull together quickly. And that is what former Department of Defense advisor Bilal Saab told me earlier. Take a listen.
That is the doomsday scenario. They just use all means at their disposal to try to bring as many people with them down as possible. It probably wouldn't be the Israelis, but we would be the more vulnerable friends of ours that we have in the region. That would be the Saudis, the Emiratis, all the other Gulf countries. That's the only argument that they have left, is that if you want to take us out, we're going to take out as many people with us as possible.
And further proof that President Trump still has options on the table still. The Abraham Lincoln Aircraft Carrier Group was redeployed to the Middle East 2 days ago. It was in the western waters of the Philippines. It made a turn in satellite imagery. There we have on the screen from Europe's Copernicus system. And it is expected in the Middle East later next week, Errol.
And meanwhile, Ramy, what is happening inside Iran as of this morning? I know you're in contact with sources there.
I have been. CBS News and other media, we've been reporting at least 12,000 people have been killed based on sources on the ground in Iran. But I am right now in touch with one Iranian man through a translator who managed to get out. He's now in Turkey. And in his words, he says that 12,000 dead bodies, this is his quote here, are a joke. It is way more than that. And he says he was in Tehran, the capital, in the southern district of Naziabad. He said he was fighting himself in the first few days there, that Iranian security were aiming for heads, and he admitted that one of his friends did take the life of one Iranian security official. They tried to get one of their friends' bodies at the Tehran morgue. We've been showing that this week in Qarizak. They were asked to pay $7,000. They were only able to get one body, but $7,000 is an enormous sum, especially with the devaluation of the Iranian currency there. He managed to get out of Iran, going through Kurdistan to the west, helped by Kurds who are no friends of the regime in Iran. He says his mother and his brother are still there. His brother's been arrested. But, just one of many, many stories, terrific stories starting to come out now.
What a harrowing experience he's sharing with you, Ramy. I appreciate you bringing that to our viewers' attention. Of course, we'll continue to stay in contact with people in and around Iran in the weeks ahead. Ramy Inocencio in London. Thank you.